What if the most politically influential thing in the 2024 American election wasn't a debate, a donation, or even a candidate, it was a dance app? Not because of what users chose to watch. Because of what the app chose to show them, whether they wanted it or not. TikTok's recommendation algorithm is not a mirror. It doesn't just reflect your preferences back at you. It's more like a very opinionated waiter who watched you order a salad once and has since decided you're ready for the full tasting menu, whether you asked for it or not. The engine feeds on engagement signals, watch time, replays, shares. Political content that provokes a reaction performs extremely well on these metrics. Researchers created fresh TikTok accounts and let the algorithm run. They watched a politically neutral starting seed, no party affiliation, no obvious ideology. Within hours, the feed had drifted. Within days, it had arrived somewhere specific, anti-Democrat content, at rates significantly higher than pro-Democrat material. The drift wasn't random. It happened across different accounts, different demographics, different starting points. It was consistent. Here's what makes this strange. This isn't an echo chamber that would require you to already believe something. This is more like a conveyor belt you stepped onto by accident. You didn't choose the destination. The algorithm moved you there anyway, regardless of your starting point. That's a fundamentally different problem. Why does this happen? Partly because outrage outperforms enthusiasm in engagement metrics. Content that triggers disagreement gets replayed, screenshot, dunked on. The algorithm reads that as success. It doesn't know the difference between "I love this" and "I cannot believe this exists." Both generate the same signal. Political content, especially negative political content, is engagement catnip. TikTok, to its credit, has repeatedly said its algorithm doesn't take political positions. And technically, it doesn't. Neither does a river, and yet somehow everything downstream ends up in the same place. Scale is what turns a quirk into a crisis. TikTok has over 170 million users in the United States alone. If even a fraction of them are being systematically nudged toward a particular political valence, not by their own choice, but by an optimization function that simply wanted them to keep scrolling, then the aggregate effect on public opinion is not small. We're talking about a machine that has political consequences it didn't design for, or at least says it didn't. This isn't uniquely TikTok. Facebook's own internal research documented similar dynamics years ago. YouTube radicalization pipelines were a documented phenomenon before radicalization pipeline was even a common phrase. What's different here is the speed and the audience. TikTok moves faster than any previous platform, and it reaches a younger demographic still forming political identities, still deciding what to believe. The window for influence isn't just open. It's the entire wall. The real question isn't whether TikTok is biased. It's whether any recommendation system built to maximize engagement can possibly be politically neutral, because those two goals are not compatible. Engagement feeds on emotion. Emotion in politics is asymmetric. An asymmetric emotion, at scale, moves elections. We handed the architecture of public opinion to a system that was never designed to care about public opinion. That's not a TikTok problem. That's a choice we're still making. Strip away the platform branding and you're left with one uncomfortable equation: a system optimized for engagement, content where outrage outperforms enthusiasm, and 170 million people who didn't sign up to be nudged anywhere. The algorithm isn't biased the way a pundit is biased, it doesn't have a preferred outcome. It just follows the math. And the math happens to run downhill toward anger, toward provocation, toward whatever makes you stay one more second. At scale, across enough accounts, the aggregate output looks like a thumb on the scale of an election. The thumb doesn't know it's there. That might be the most unsettling part. What strikes us isn't that this happened, it's that we keep being surprised when it does. We've known for years that engagement optimization and political neutrality don't coexist. We've read the research, watched the hearings, and then handed the next generation the same architecture with a slightly different interface. We don't think this is a TikTok problem or a regulation problem. It's a design problem we keep choosing not to fix. Which leaves us with a question we can't shake: If we already know that building attention machines means building opinion machines, and we keep building them anyway, what exactly are we deciding?